What's up, I'm Jeremy Valentine from New Year's Day, and I'm going to run through my gear with you guys. First thing is, I play Schecter. Schecter's an awesome company. The guitars play great. I actually play a Blackjack ATX, which I love because I love the shape of it because it's very unique for Schecter. They don't really do shapes like this. I play Seymour Duncan pickups, which are awesome because they're very like high-driven pickups. For solos, I use my rhythm pickup, and for most rhythm stuff, I use my treble pickup, which because rhythm with the rhythm pickup with rhythm sounds muddy, you know, it's less like high-driven sounding. So, well, the knobs are actually really simple. There's nothing like, these are just volumes for these pickups, and this is for how hot the pickups are. Usually, I have this pickup down because, which is that one, because I rarely use it. I only use it on certain songs, and then in between that song I'll put it back up. So usually it's like this is up and this is up. I really have no preference for strings yet because I've been trying out a bunch of them, but I use gauges 12 through 74 on the top, low A, and we're in drop A tuning. So with my pedals, I prefer Boss pedals. I love the people in Boss. I actually met them at NAMM a couple years ago, and they're very nice. So I've tried other companies before, but Boss it's always been great. This tour in particular, I'm only running a noise suppressor and a tuner, but in the past I've ran a tube screamer and a delay pedal. But I'm a classic rock guy, so this one I wanted to go bare minimum and see what I can do without all the effects and all that stuff, you know, kind of test my own skills in playing. Because I feel like a lot of guitar players have like so many pedals where it's almost like they're not really doing the work for themselves in a way. So yeah, that's my pedal rig for this tour. Very simple. I use Orange heads, which Orange are amazing heads, specifically the TH100. They're very, very high-driven. Well, especially like this head is very high-driven. Orange also has heads that are very like, I guess 70s rock, but I like this one. Well, I like all of them, but for our genre and our band, this one does the trick. It's amazing, sounds great, and the problem with a lot of heads is you have to use pedals to make it sound less muddy. With this one, like I said, I'm using only a noise suppressor. It's just the head sound with Seymour Duncan pickups, and that's it, you know, so that's why I love these heads. I don't really change it at all, like, during the road. When I get off the road, I dial it in. So I really don't know exactly what I'm doing. I just sit there and try to make it sound as crisp and best as possible, especially with on the bass. I like to make it sound like the bass and guitar are one entity rather than two separate sounds. So I really have I guess in a way it almost changes every tour depending on what I feel it should sound like on that tour, or if I want it to sound like this or that way, you know.
Hey, what's up? This is Nicky Misery from New Year's Day. About to get into my little guitar collection of one right now. Pretty much my main one has been this Avenger or Schecter A7 guitar. It's one of the Avenger models, obviously just 7-string. This thing just has killer sound. Like, I'm not too into specifics, but I know how it plays. It plays smooth. I always kind of grew up like a punk rock kid, just grab a guitar, pick it up and play. But yeah, we use gauge 13 strings, and that pretty much. Alright, so Schecter A7, Seymour Duncan pickups. I pretty much keep it on the lead channel, you know, just volume up, tone all the way up. The louder the better. When we were filming the music video, I'm About to Break You, this is the guitar I was using. They have this one scene where I don't know what came over me, but I just decided to start smashing the guitar in the wall. And that's where all my chips come from. Trying to break my guitars. So it's funny, every time I go to Schecter, when they go, like, you know, to give it a setup and stuff like that, fix any things, they're always like, how you loving the guitars? I'm like, dude, if I can survive, or if they could survive me, they could survive anything. And it's funny because they'll always talk about, like, yeah, these are really big guitars if they survive your tours and not break. All right, welcome to my wonderful pedal train of goodies. Pretty much starting off, we have, I use a Line 6 Relay G30. This is the receiver from my wireless pack. plugs into my cork tuner, obviously to keep myself in tune. Next up, I have the Dunlop multi-wah. Just has different settings just to give that wah like different sounds to it. I usually keep it on the second one. For some reason, that's what just tickles my pickle the most, you know. I use the wah a lot, like I use it for the solo and Angel Eyes, just to give it something different for a live effect. Also, some of the parts in Kill or Be Killed, they have like these lead parts that go throughout the tune. They'll just kick that wah in just to get that extra punch. Because one thing I really like to do is not make the live show so much like an album. You know, I want to give it like that whole new feel to it. And then switching up, we got my decimator, which is pretty much my noise gate. Stops the loud screaming. Then I got this MXR carbon copy analog delay. That was the first delay pedal I've ever had, and I've never tried anything else. I've loved it that much. Has such a killer sound to it. That's everything I wanted to do. And I use this with leads as well, so like these two always complement each other. And then pretty much I got my orange switch. Just goes from my distortion to clean, and I use that for Epidemic and one part in Defame Me. And especially with going from that into the head, we use an orange TH100, obviously twin channels. And I don't need another distortion pedal. These amps or these heads just have such killer sound to it. I've never wanted to alter it in any way. So it's pretty much straight sound out of there is our distortion and our clean.
What's going on? This is Tricks from New Year's Day out here with Hellyeah on the We're All In This Together tour. I'm here to talk to you about my drum kit today. So I've got DW Collector Series. It's black on chrome and absolutely amazing sounding kit. I've got a 10-inch tom, 12-inch tom, 14-inch floor tom. Usually you get like 16-inch floor toms or 18-inch floor toms, but I have a custom size, and so I wanted a 14. 13-inch snare, and your standard 22 by 18 kick drum. I'm using all Remo heads on the drums, including on the resonance side also. I'm using all the ebony pinstripe. They're the ambassadors. Yes, they're the ambassadors on top, and then underneath they're just the blacked out emperors. And I'm using for my snare drum the Black Max Remo. It's Kevlar, absolutely amazing. Makes the snare pop and crack like no other, and they don't break, which is a great thing for me. I'm also using TRX cymbals. I've got an 18 here, crash. I've got an 18-inch China, and I've got a 21-inch ride. 14-inch hi-hats with a bright on top, dark on the bottom, and then this one is just a borrowed cymbal that I'm using right now because my other one had cracked. So anyway, anything else? I'm using Axis pedals. They're the laser longboards from Axis Percussion. Absolutely amazing. The company treats me so well, and so I've got those guys running. I'm only using this main kick drum right now, only using my right. I'm not using my left currently. It's just with the size of venues and whatnot, and to make it easier on our front of house engineer, I've decided just to use just the one so he doesn't have to worry about EQing them both in since I'm not triggering. And as for sticks, I use Vader Fatback 3A with the nylon tip, and those are my go-tos. They last the longest. They're heavy, but they're light at the same time, and they allow me to get the power out without making my hands hurt or anything like that, you know. I'm also using the iPad here for all of our tracks. So that goes into our brain, which goes to the front of house and then loops back around to me into my in-ear monitors. I'm using the Gorilla Ear GX2 models, custom molds, black and purple because it's cool. Why not, right? The reason I'm using the pinstripe ebonies on the toms is they've got a warmth, but they've also got the attack that I look for. It's very controlled. Having the pinstripe and then putting like a little moon gel on them allows me to have a very controlled sound and tone. It gives me the warmth, but it also gives me the attack, like I said, and that's the reason that I chose those. And the reason for the snare, like I said earlier, is it's Kevlar. It keeps up with me. I've only had to change this head twice. They don't lose their tone and their attack, and it just makes the drum sing. It's my snare drum is a steel snare, and so it really backs that up and allows it to just crack like no other. So that's the reason why I chose those. All right, thank you so much for checking out New Year's Day's gear today. I appreciate it so much. Be sure to check us out on tour in this upcoming summer and whatnot, and be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, all those good things. You can look us up, just search New Year's Day. And then of course you got our new album out on Another Century Records called Malevolence. Be sure to pick that up. Boom.